right, we'll call the meeting to order. Daniel, please take the roll.
Councilwoman Garvey.
Present.
Councilman Brennan.
Present.
Councilman Bundy.
Present.
Councilman Green.
Present.
Mayor Sykes.
Present. Let the record reflect we do have a quorum for Tuesday, November 28th, 2023. We'll run down to department head comments and reports. Chris, what do you got?
I don't actually have a whole lot. Obviously, this time of year, P&Z starts to slow down. Not a lot of people want to build in the winter, so we're not seeing. We're still seeing applications come in, but not like we typically did through the summer. So we don't have a lot other than that sort of thing.
Yeah. Chief Thompson.
Mayor, Council, the big event for us this weekend is the Shop at the Top event hosted by Walmart and the Elks. Looking forward to that. Training and recruiting notes. We've got open applicant testing on January 5th. Looking forward. We've had contact with at least 3 people I'm aware of. There's applications for us for open positions. Lindsay Tacky will be graduating from the Academy on December 11th. To head out here to celebrate that event with her. And then Sellers and Patterson are both getting off of the full training at the end of December, so that should bring our staff.
Fantastic. Chief Moore.
Mayor, Council, just real briefly, we did have a significant fire here in the city on the north end of town Monday morning, about 3 in the morning. Fortunately, the family was able to get out. All 3 dogs and the cat survived, so that's a good thing. And we've got good insurance, so they're being made whole in that regard. We also gave some money from our burnout fund to the family to get them on the feet for their needs and necessities right off the get-go. Departmentally, we're going to be busy helping Santa Claus out this upcoming month. So we've got our mailbox out at Fire Station number 1 for letters to be dropped off there to Santa Claus. We'll have that mailbox picked up by December 20th. So folks need to get their letters in and delivered by that time frame. We ask that when they do drop those off that we have clear, legible writing on them that we can read for physical addresses, phone numbers, and we ask that they bundle the letters together for families so we ensure that they all get delivered at the same evening. So we will be delivering those letters on December 14th and the 21st. That'll be the Thursdays, 2nd and 3rd Thursdays in December. So we'll do that between 6 and 8 p.m.
Awesome.
Okay.
Shasta.
So tomorrow night is our murder mystery, and we're doing it a little bit different. We're forming teams with crews to solve the mystery, and there's a prize for the first team to solve it. And then coming up, not this Saturday, but next Saturday on the 9th, first of all, we have our Western Idaho Open Chess Tournament, and that's going on all day. Check-in time is at 10 a.m. and it'll go to approximately 5. And we also have Library Book Club at 9:30 that morning. Then Santa will be at the library at 5:30 to 7:30, along with the Grinch, and there'll be hot chocolate and Stardust dancers will also be performing, so it'll be a good time.
Fantastic. Betsy.
So things are, I think Chris kind of quickly mentioned, slowing down development world, same in economic development, but I don't know, I'm sure everyone's seen the progress made on American Legion. Desert Sage is coming along well as ICCU. So that's exciting stuff. I think last we heard was spring time frame. Very generic, giving us a season. So as more details come between the two of us, we'll keep you guys updated on that. Small Business Saturday was very successful. Mirazine Shakuri let us use the 170 North Main building on Main Street for free. So very appreciative of that effort. We were able to host 20 home-based businesses in there. And then there was about 15 others scattered throughout town at real estate offices, insurance offices. Everyone seems very excited about the event. In the end, it seemed like a very good success for those businesses as well as our brick and mortars. Coming up, though, I'm sure you guys have seen a few times, this Friday is our Christmas parade. So thank you. I know Councilman Bundy, Councilman Green has said you guys will judge. The invitation is open to all council members to come join us and judge us at Mount Home Pro. Let us know if you'll be there. as well as with base leadership as well. That'll be starting at 6:30 as the parade starts, so we ask judges to be at Mount Home Pro by 6:15. We'll start at 6:30, got about 20 entries so far, which is about where we were last year, so hopefully we get a couple more so I can break some records. But that'll be this Friday to 6:30, and we'll go down 2nd Street, hang a left on 4th and a left on Main, and to Railroad Park where we'll light the tree, and Santa will be there as well for all children to come and get a free photo. So it's exciting stuff.
Thanks, Betsy. Rich, what do you got?
Mayor, council, street department was helping get all the Christmas decorations done. They did a little bit of maintenance on some potholes, things like that kind of going on. Most of the road stuff pretty much kind of is done. I saw that they were paving at Paiute, kind of getting that street taken care of. They got 5th done in front of the Leap Housing, so that's kind of cleaned up over there. Water, they're just normal maintenance stuff right now. They're got a big PFAS test that they're sending a whole bunch of bottles off for that week. And then wastewater, them and the fiber guys, they pulled a stormwater drain or stormwater pipe over at Chucker Circle. So I saw they poured the box this afternoon, so it should be finished up. So it's really about the big things. So.
Daniel, got anything?
Mayor, council, it's City Hall's hopping. It's busy time of the year for us. We have audit season. Had a lot of new hires come in. Recreation got a new hire. Topaz Lau's over there at the office. Ted Room's in the back here in the building department. Jeff's out at the golf course. Alan's at the animal shelter. So if you're out and about and you see them or catch them on the phone, please tell them welcome to the city.
Paul, you got anything?
No.
All right. Council? All right. So run down to conflict of interest declaration. As any council member received information pertaining to or otherwise had any contact with any person regarding any items on this city of council, if so, please set forth nature of contact. Seeing none, we'll run down to the consent agenda. Council, is there anything from A to F that you want to talk about, pull, discuss a little deep, in more in depth? If not, I'll entertain a motion.
Mayor,
Councilwoman Garvey?
do we not have to add this ordinance
Oh,
agenda?
no, Paul was supposed to add that. You're correct.
Okay, I just want to make sure. 1788,
Yeah,
Is that the one that Jeff wrote up
Yeah.
on the hours?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. Yes, if you
Okay.
make the motion.
okay.
Amend the agenda to include that as a consent agenda item. Well, actually, I'm sorry, it'd be in new business.
Business, okay. Mayor,
Councilwoman Garvey.
I would like to move, let me get my words together.
Move to amend the agenda.
Thank you. I would like to move to amend the agenda to add ordinance number 1788 to item number 7 under new business, please.
Good motion and seconded. Any further discussion?
Mayor?
Councilman Brennan?
I'd like to object to the adding it to the tonight's meeting. I don't see an exact emergency nature for it, and I don't think anything's been stated in the motion as to why it needs to be added. I understand the purpose of it entirely. The citizens have no idea what we're talking about. They haven't seen it on an agenda yet. And I think we can continue to operate under this is how we've always done it until we can get it on the agenda to talk about it, or at least for the citizens to be aware of what it is that ordinance number 1788 is.
Okay.
Mr. Mayor,
Councilman Bundy?
I had similar thoughts to Councilman Brendan. I think this is a little quick. I'm not saying that we don't need to do it, but it's not on the agenda. We haven't had a chance to review it and have the city take a look at it and the public take a look at it. So I would just assume that we put it on the schedule at the next meeting, at a future meeting, where we have a chance to review it and let people take a look at it.
Okay.
Mayor,
There is, Councilman
can I
Brennan?
talk a little bit more about it?
You bet.
Just for the record, this is adopting basically a county ordinance for the hours and days in which liquor can be served by the drink in the city of Mountain Home. The state does not allow it to happen on Sundays, Thanksgiving and Memorial Day or something like that.
Sundays.
But it leaves it to the city and the county to allow it. So the county has allowed it. The city's just never adopted that by ordinance to allow it. And so.
But we have been operating for 30 years.
30 years.
We did do it.
Right.
So that's the problem. And then the officers that were involved just referred to the county ordinance, which technically isn't correct because we have to adopt our own.
Right. And so by us putting it on a regular agenda and having citizens' ability to talk about it, Tiffany then said she would then notify every bar in town that says you can't serve on Sunday because we don't have an ordinance allowing it. Can we just simply say the county ordinance will suffice for the next month while we can get this on an agenda?
No.
No, yeah, enforcement issues.
That's not, county ordinance doesn't apply.
Mayor,
So
Councilman Green?
sorry. So if we're going to go with status quo, what's the harm in putting it on the agenda? If we're going to continue as we're currently operating, what's the harm in putting it in the agenda if there's no changes?
And also, Mayor,
Councilwoman Garvey?
we are not having another meeting until January, so that is going to be a huge enforcement issue for our law enforcement to go to all the bars every single Sunday to ensure that there's no liquor being sold.
I thought we had one in December.
Early December.
Early December.
Oh, we done?
We have the first December,
Well,
we last
I
one.
apologize, I'm getting ahead of myself. I was
And
excited, we didn't have
You
another
are
meeting.
sticking it on me as the prosecutor to have
To-
to deal with it
yeah.
too in court, because I won't enforce it.
You won't enforce the law?
I will not, I will dismiss any a charge on that because we've been operating as if we've had this ordinance for literally 30 years. And so I would not, anyway, it could create some confusion,
And
which is why we drafted it right away and got it to you, given that with the holidays and all that.
Mayor,
isn't there a public hearing required for an ordinance?
No,
No.
not for police, not for that purpose,
Not for that
for land use, yes.
Okay.
Councilwoman Garvey?
may I, counsel, legal, may I say what happened?
Go ahead.
Okay, just for the public that's sitting out here going, what are you guys talking about? So there was an incident at a bar where they were serving liquor drinks on Thanksgiving Day, which you are not allowed to serve liquor on certain holidays. And so they got busted, I guess, for lack of better words, and the deputy that busted him said, "You're fine, because the county has this ordinance in place." However, the city does not have the ordinance in place to say the same thing. So that's what we're up here deliberating right now.
And the state statute says no serving liquor by the drink on holidays or on Sundays unless any city or county in the entire state decides that they want to, and then it's fine. So it's kind of a strangely worded statute, but there you have it.
And I would, Mayor, if I may,
Go ahead.
I would make the argument that although I don't see this as an emergency, I see this that it could really create a lot more issues than when we can just take care of this tonight. For our police officers in particular.
Yeah.
Councilman Green?
I agree with Councilwoman Garvey, just because we do have more holidays coming up before our next meeting.
Councilman Brennan?
I think I love arguing about something right now that's not even on the agenda. I love it. But to argue that point, our attorney said he won't enforce any action. If a city police officer were to write a ticket, he's not going to enforce it. So I think that's kind of authority or notice to Chief Thompson's officers to say, don't enforce this for the next until we have another meeting about it. And why do we want to make, what if the majority of our citizens don't want liquor served on Thanksgiving? I'm not saying they do, okay, but that's the stance I've taken the entire time as a council member, is to say, let them have their input. And by us just forcing it through tonight, we're taking away their input.
So, council, it's been motioned and seconded, and we have the next council meeting is the 12th, just FYI.
Yeah.
Just FYI. So, I'll call for the question. Councilwoman Garvey.
Aye.
Councilman Brennan.
Hey,
Councilman Bundy.
Nay.
Councilman Green.
Aye.
Okay, I'm gonna vote aye. So we'll put that in number 7. Run down to consent agenda. Now, A through F. Council, what do you guys want to do?
Mayor,
Councilman Brennan?
I don't know if the motion was already made. I'm sorry if it was. I'll make a motion to pass the consent agenda as printed.
Second.
It's been motioned and seconded to pass the ordinance as written. Any further discussion? Hearing none, I'll call for the question. Councilman Green?
Aye.
Councilman Buddy?
Aye.
Councilman Brennan?
Aye.
Councilwoman Garvey?
Aye.
All right, run down to old business. Deliberation decision on approving resolution 32-2033R establishing golf fees for the 2024 golf season, authorizing mayor and city clerk to sign. Council, what do you guys want to do?
Mayor?
Councilwoman Garvey?
I would like to just add a few comments on the fees for the public to hear my thoughts on it. I had to come to a consensus with the group here so that we could all move forward on this. I did a comparison with the base fees, and we're not too far off. When you say 35%, it sounds shockingly high. But when you say $5, it's not as bad from my perspective. There are a couple fees that I still argued that were a little bit high. I wanted the senior rate added back in, so it's there, and obviously everybody agreed. But we are fairly comparable to the base, and so in that regard, I think we're getting somewhere. I just hope that the future council, myself included for the next 2 years, that we actually work on these fees and not increase them at such high rates. They need to be increased year over year in a manner that it doesn't shock all of us. So that's just what I hope to see going forward. And that includes water, wastewater rates, sewer rates. I just would like to see us work more effectively going forward, so.
And then we also put in, council, the children's student pass. So they could essentially play for free, right? That was that was one of the ones you guys wanted in there for the school season.
The high school students.
The high school students, right?
Yep.
Right, okay. Awesome.
Mr. Mayor?
Councilman Bundy.
I think it is great that we added back in the senior rate. I think the other thing that I think we need to talk about here on the season passes I think the big thing that really helps us on the season pass is the convenience fee, whatever you want to call it, the dollar fee, the $5 fee, whatever you want to call it, is gone.
Yeah.
So when you take out that daily fee, the $1 or the $5 fee, that really puts our season passes back to a rate that is much less of an increase. So I think that's a positive thing. The free golf for the high school kids and the golf team, now the student season pass is still there. So if they want to continue to play after the season is over, they can still play at a significantly reduced rate. The military rate, the senior rate. We did have the conversation about splitting this over a couple of years, but we did that a few years ago with water. But what we have is a change in council where we really in good conscience can't obligate a future council for a projected rate. So that's up to the council. It's going to start in January with the new members of the council, and that's the way it should be. They're going to be able to take a look at that. So that's another reason we went with this a reduced increase, but not as reduced as we might have if we'd been able to put it over 2 years without, as we've talked with council in the past, we really can't obligate a future council. So that's why we did this one here. And I agree with Councilwoman Garvey that when you look at it as, a $5 here, $10, it's significant, but we were able to do some things to really bring the rate, and I think the big one is the convenience fee. That was a big concession that we made, and that we all agreed on it, that's, you know, those are kind of the core folks that we like. We like everybody. We want everybody to feel welcome at the golf course, but we were able to make some other issues out there and increase playability for folks that need the help playing, so.
All right, council, what do you all want to do?
Mr. Mayor,
Councilman Brennan.
make a motion to pass resolution number 32-2023R.
Second.
There's been a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Hearing none, I'll call for the question. Councilman Green?
Aye.
Councilman Bundy?
Aye.
Councilman Brennan?
Aye.
Councilwoman Garvey?
Aye.
All right. Run down to new business, items removed from the consent agenda. There were none. We'll run down to new business, action item number 3, deliberation decision to cancel the December 26, 2023 City Council meeting and authorize the expenditures.
Mayor,
Councilman Green?
I'll just make the motion to cancel the December 26, 2023 City Council meeting and authorize the expenditures.
Do I hear a second?
Second.
There's been a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Hearing none, I'll call for the question. Councilwoman Garvey?
Aye.
Councilman Brennan?
Aye.
Councilman Bundy?
Aye.
Councilman Green?
Aye.
Run down to action item number 4. Deliberation decision on Planning and Zoning Commission recommendation to annex the 2 parcels of land totaling 3.5 acres located on South 10th East Street between Southwest Quaker Drive, Southwest Paiute, requested by Sherilyn Hammond and Sean Allen. You got anything on that one, Chris?
I do. The next 3 items are all tied together.
Okay.
But I will start telling you that the developer is here in the room tonight. This request to annex is for 3.53 acres. The intent behind the annexation is they would like to build a 55 and up community on this property that they do own. So, yeah, and that's pretty straightforward.
Sherilyn, do you want to say anything, or council, you have anything for the developer?
Or chat first.
Do you want to talk? Or you don't have to if you don't want to.
I'm here to introduce myself, first of all, and we're excited to come to the community and be able to provide something that's lacking, I think, in a lot of communities. We just have the opportunity here first. My business partner isn't here tonight, but he's had quite a lot of experience in development. So as far as what the planning looks like and what those homes will bring, I think is going to be a nice thing to have here in Mountain Home, and to be able to offer some 55+ living is, I'm excited to be a part of it, and I welcome any questions that anybody might have.
Council, you got anything for a nice lady?
Individual houses.
Yeah, there would be a combination of duplexes and single family homes.
So, do I hear a motion?
Mayor,
Councilwoman Garvey?
sorry, I just lost my train of thought. Just go ahead.
Chris, it fits all the required,
Absolutely, it meets all the requirements for the annexation.
Okay.
And I can talk further about the PUD.
Sure. Let's just,
Okay, so, like I said, the intent behind this is to build a 55+ community. They want it to be a walking community. Some of the things that they want to do with the planned unit development is they want to reduce the minimum lot sizes from 5,000 square feet to 2,800. They want to reduce street frontages from 50 linear feet down to 39 linear feet. They want to change setbacks on their property from what is now in code is 12 and 5 on each side. They want to go down to 5 and 5, and they want to reduce their rear setbacks from 15 to 10. Those are the only things they want to change, and in exchange for the changes, they want to build a community clubhouse. They want to do pickleball courts. They plan to have 3 green spaces with some dog parks. They do have off-street parking provided. So for the single-family units, they're going to have 3 spaces per home. For the duplexes, they're going to have 6 spaces per home for off-street parking. The site does currently have wells on site. They do not obviously intend to use those wells for consumption, but they do intend to maintain the well for the green spaces so that they can help to not draw city water for landscape needs. The majority of the project will, though, be zero-scaped, so that they can hopefully reduce water usage in that way as well. Am I missing anything, Sherilyn?
It makes no sense that they're gonna use the wells that comes out of the same aquifer, you know what I mean?
Well, and agree, but that is their plan, and like I said, it's just for their the dog park green spaces. This is the
Right.
only thing they're really planning for. They do also have an HOA agreement that we reviewed, and the HOA agreement from P&Z's perspective is a pretty solid one. It's actually tried and true. They have a golf course that they've built in eastern Idaho, and they use the same type of HOA there, and it's very effective.
Do those wells have water rights?
They do have the water rights to them, yeah.
You know where I'm going, right? So would they be amenable to give those up for the annexation? To the city?
I think it's up for discussion. I can't make that decision right now without my business partner here, but we do have some water rights.
I don't get to decide. The floor out here do, but just food for thought.
Mayor,
Councilwoman Garvey.
so I think it's important before we discuss what type of water rights or getting the water rights, we have to understand what type of water rights they have. They may only have irrigation water rights,
Correct.
which really mean nothing to us. So, I mean, you can't use that water for potable water out of your well if you're going to annex into the city. You have to tie into us anyway, so it's
Right.
kind of a moot point.
Right.
Yeah.
And they understand.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
I don't think, yeah, I don't know if they were a deep well, I don't remember how deep they were.
It's over 500 feet.
Yeah, so they were pretty deep.
Yeah. You know, water's,
I know.
it's liquid gold out here,
Yeah.
so, and obviously that's drinkable water. At 500 feet, it's good water.
Yeah.
So,
Mayor,
Councilman Brennan.
the ordinance I brought up last meeting, I feel like this applies with, Rich, help me if I'm wrong, if with annexation, then we, that, by them signing that, we have the first right of refusal to buy the water rights.
Well, yes, I mean, I think with, right now, they're gonna pay for water rights because of how big the project is.
Right.
So, yeah.
Okay.
Well, and I think, isn't it, we only get one bite at the apple when we annex in, so I'm just trying to see if you would be willing to,
That would be, Mayor, Council, you might want to add that into the
the annexation agreement.
annexation agreement.
Okay.
Mayor.
Do you know what kind of water rights there? I know they're not irrigation, they're deep well, obviously.
Yeah, I'd have to look at the Idaho Water website and see actually which ones they are, and I think we have some other water rights that may be available, but
But those aren't tied to this property.
he's not here to speak.
But the other rights you're talking about, those are Snake River water rights.
Correct.
It's totally different, yeah.
Mayor,
Councilwoman Garvey.
correct me if I'm wrong, but we didn't approve that ordinance last time. It's still up for discussion. So if we add it in here, how do we add it in here if it's not approved?
You could just put.
You just put it?
Mayor, Council, you could have that in
Just
the
put a dollar
annexation
amount?
agreement, that we just want to have first right of refusal to,
For the water rights
the
on
water
that
rights.
particular well?
yeah.
I mean, I don't see that being an issue. We're gonna zero-scape the property and just have small green space around the clubhouse area and the dog park.
Be sure nice if you just wanted to give those to the city. Council, what do you want to do?
Mayor?
Councilman Brennan.
Let me make sure I got the right one here. I would motion to approve Planning and Zoning's Commission recommendation to the annexation of two parcels of land totaling 3.53 acres located on South 10th East Street, with an additional condition of adding that the city has the first right of refusal to purchase the water rights that are on that property, and potential of swapping the fees for annexation fees for the fair market value of the water rights.
Mayor, Council, usually that would, yes, it would be like their hookup, like their EDU fees. We've done that in the past, so, yeah.
Well, what about the, he's talking about the annexing the 3 acres, 3.5 as 2,000 acres.
2,000 acre. We could do that either way. I mean, however we want to do that, it's kind of the same thing, yeah.
Just collect one and give the other type thing.
Second. All right. It's been motioned and seconded. Any further discussion? Hearing Hearing none, I'll call for the question. Councilman Bundy?
Aye.
Councilwoman Garvey?
Aye.
Councilman Brennan?
Aye.
Councilman Green?
Aye.
Okay, action, we'll go down to new business action item number 5, deliberation decision on Planning and Zoning Commission recommendations to zone R4 two parcels of land totaling 3.53 acres located south 10th east between Southwest Quaker Drive and Southwest Paiute, requested by Sherilyn Hammond and Sean Allen. Council? Council Brennan? Sorry.
I'll just jump right in to make a motion to approve P and Z's recommendation to zone R4 the two parcels of land.
Second.
It's been motioned and seconded. Any further discussion? Hearing none, I'll call for the question. Councilman Green?
Aye.
Councilman Brennan?
Aye.
Councilman Bundy?
Aye.
Councilwoman Garvey?
Aye.
Going down to action item number 6, deliberation decision on Planning and Zoning Commission recommendation to rezone R4 PUD two parcels of land totaling 3.5 acres located at South 10th East between Southwest Quaker Drive and Southwest Paiute, requested by Cheryl Hammonds and Sean Allen.
Mayor.
Councilman Brennan?
Question for Chris on this one. Could you readdress the setbacks that you threw out at us?
So-
real quick?
Yes, absolutely. So, Mr. Mayor and Council, so what they're asking for in the PUD, for R4, we have a 5,000 square foot requirement. They want to reduce that to 2,800 square feet. They want to reduce the front setback, or the frontage of linear feet of the frontage of the property from 50 feet of linear feet down to 39. And then for the side setbacks, currently for R4, we require 12 feet on 12 feet on one side, 5 feet on the other. They want to do 5 and 5, so 5 on each side. And then on a backyard setback in R4, we require 15 feet. They want to drop that to 10. And that's all they're asking for in the PUD. Everything else, they're willing to comply with city notice.
20.
And just to make sure, between buildings, there will be no less than 10 feet.
10 feet, correct.
Okay.
Mayor,
Councilman Green?
I'll make a motion to approve the Planning and Zoning Commission's recommendation to rezone R4 PUD two parcels of land totaling 3.53 acres located on South 10th East Street.
Second.
It's been motioned and seconded. Any further discussion? Hearing none, I'll call for the question. Councilman Garvey?
Aye.
Councilman Green?
Aye.
Councilman Bundy?
Aye.
Councilman Brennan?
Aye.
Okay. We'll run down to new business number 7, ordinance 1788. Council, what do you want to do?
All right.
Councilman,
I'd like to table this until our next council meeting.
December 12th?
Yes.
Okay. It's a motion?
Sure. Yeah.
There's a motion to table this ordinance till December 12th.
Second.
It's been seconded. Any further discussion? Hearing none, I'll call for the question. Councilman Bundy?
Aye.
Councilman Brennan?
Aye.
Councilwoman Garvey?
Nay.
Councilwoman Green? So now here's the problem. Now if I approve it, now I look like I'm a proponent of liquor. I will, just to make sure that there's no issues with the prosecutor and our city officers, I'll vote nay. Do I have a
Mayor,
motion? Councilman Green?
I will make a motion to approve ordinance 1788.
Second.
It's been motioned and seconded. Any further discussion?
Pardon me. I would make a motion to waive the 3 reading rule.
Oh.
Rule this and use ordinance by title only.
Who's got that piece of paper? So I will make a motion to waive the 3 reading rule and read the ordinance for the first and only time. Let's see here, one and only time reading tonight.
Second.
You know, we could have made Daniel read that 3 times.
We could have.
It's been motioned and seconded. Any further discussion? Hearing none, I'll call for the question. Councilman Green?
Aye.
Councilman Garvey?
Aye.
Councilman Brennan?
This is to approve the ordinance,
Yes.
not to
This
waive
is
it.
just
This is the waive the 3 reading rule.
Reading
To
rule.
waive
Ordinance by title only. And then after that's done,
Then
then Daniel in the hot seat gets to read it. Then there would be a motion to either deny it, approve it, and then discussion.
Nay.
Councilman Bundy?
I don't want to hear it 3 times before we discuss it, so aye.
All right. Daniel, will you read that ordinance by title only, please?
Yes, sir. The ordinance number is 1788, and it's titled, "An Ordinance of the City of Mountain Home, Idaho, amending City Code Section 4-2A to provide for sales of liquor by the drink until 2:00 a.m. and on Sundays and certain holidays, providing for severability, repealing all ordinances, resolutions, and orders inconsistent with this ordinance, providing for codification, providing for publication by summary, and providing an effective date."
Council, you've heard this ordinance read. Do you wish it to pass? Councilman Green?
Aye.
Councilman Bundy?
Are we going to have any discussion on the ordinance?
Yeah. Oh, sorry. Is there any further discussion?
Mayor,
Councilman Green?
I don't see prolonging it to another meeting. It's basically just bringing us in line with how we're already operating within the city. And I don't think making a case for the city attorney as well as the police department saying, oh, we're not going to prosecute it, then why don't we just approve it and be done with it?
Mr. Mayor?
Councilman Bundy?
So we went for, I'm going to address this to legal. We went for approximately 3 decades with no problem, correct?
Correct.
Why do we all of a sudden have a problem?
Well, you might know this better than I do, or Jeff does.
Yeah.
It was just like, are we supposed to, somebody found, this is what I think happened, is somebody found a statute saying there's no alcohol allowed to be sold on Sundays or Thursdays, and so, it came up on Labor Day or Memorial Day that people will go out on Sunday because they treat it like a Saturday. And so somebody, I think, brought up that statute. I think it was a totally innocuous reason why the officers were there, and I don't know if Chief could weigh in on that. And then it was just sort of like, oh, well, here we go, we got this county ordinance, so we have no problems at all, thank you, have a great night, and that was all there was to it. And then the only reason this is here is because Jeff sits there and reads dutifully all the Passover sheets that the police officers do. So it's an internal document for the police saying, hey, great night, we stopped by this such and such bar and this came up. But don't worry, we found the county statute, so all was good, all be merry and all that stuff. And it was Jeff, because he's a nerd, was just like, hey, that's not accurate. And so Jeff is the behest of all this, because he was like, the reference to saying the county ordinance, so all is good, is actually not good. And then we kind of poured over our own code, or Jeff did, poured over our own code and realized we can't find this ordinance anywhere in our books. We've assumed it had been there for 30 years, and the county's one has been there for all that time. And so we were like, well, we better get this housekeeping, what we consider to be housekeeping, before the next holiday, so that we don't have this situation pop up again. Because technically what the city police officer said was inaccurate, but the county ordinance is not good enough, we need to have our own. And we always thought we did. I respect Councilman Brennan's comment that, how I'm going to approach it as the prosecutor is this has been the status quo for who knows how long. I'm not upsetting the apple cart because of this issue. If we get back from the public and unanimously they want to have a dry county or not have alcohol and all that, then I'll start enforcing an ordinance like that. But I'm certainly not going to upset the apple cart of our practice just merely because Jeff found it in the pass-along sheets. That I'm going to start changing the way we've been doing things here in this town for all this time. But if council at some point wants to entertain not allowing alcohol by the drink on, New Year's Eve or whatever it is, or actually New Year's Eve you'd be fine. It's New Year's Day you can't. Yeah. So right at midnight you better finish it. You can't go over. So anyway, but that's entirely up to you guys. This was from legal's perspective. This was entirely something we observed just from reading the pass-along sheets from the police officers. And we're like, oh, we probably ought to fix that.
Yeah. Councilman Brennan?
Sorry, read that.
Could you?
Sure did.
I was going to tease you a little bit about pontificating, but I'll let it go.
And no, I will shortly answer if you have any other questions about it.
Before our December 12th meeting, we have, the only way this will apply would honestly be like Sundays. And Chief, I wanted to ask you, would it be an unreasonable ask for you to ask the officers to not take any action on this on Sundays until December 12th?
It would not be unreasonable if the officers are initiating their activity. If there's other complaints, then we may have to take other enforcement action. And that would be a case-by-case basis.
And at that point, if they took enforcement action, then the city prosecutor comes in and says, I'm not doing that.
Yeah, and I also, I mean, I hate to say carte blanche what I am or going to do on a wholesale basis, but I too would look at it and I'd be like, you know, oh, come on, this is just an ordinary Sunday, like we've been doing for the past 30 years. I'm not going to waste the taxpayer resources to prosecute something like that.
Mayor. But at that point, without this in there, if that happens, we're now paying city law enforcement as well as our attorney to make those decisions, instead of just approving what we're already doing and have been doing for 30 years.
I've made my case. I just want the citizens' input. Like, I may know where I stand, but their opinion matters to me. So,
And you can't be the one who writes the ticket.
I won't. I won't. Now, Christmas Day is the only one the city cannot change. Christmas Day, but I've made my.
Councilman Buddy.
You said something, if I could get a clarification. I kind of asked you how the problem came about, and as I'm trying to glean through your answer,
Which was a bit of speculation.
a little bit of speculation, it seems to me, if I understood you correctly, that you went through the ordinances and couldn't find it.
Yeah.
Does that definitively say that it's not there?
Well, as it was Jeff who was the one who looks through, I'm pretty confident that it's not there.
Okay.
The only way it could be there that I'm not aware of is if somehow, I'm going to talk a little longer than I said. But anyway, back in the day, we just had a book of ordinances, ordinance number 111 or whatever, whereas now it's all codified, so you can find it online. So the only way is if it's some old law that was some ordinance that never made it to the codified ordinances. That's it. But I'm never going to be able to find that.
Okay.
But it's not on the codified stuff.
Let me ask you, we have what's called a conundrum, correct? Let's say hypothetically that this fails tonight. Could we bring it back on the 12th?
Yes.
Okay.
What do you mean fails?
If we don't approve it,
Oh, yeah. If you don't approve it,
then we can bring it back on the
you can
12th.
bring it back. Yeah, it's not like, so what you're alluding to or worried to is in the context of a land use ordinance. That if somebody
Correct.
applies for something and wants some sort of land use and it's denied, then now you can't bring it back for 6 months.
Correct.
And in some instances, a year.
This could come back on the
This
12th.
can come right back.
That's a
You're exercising your police power.
Okay.
Mayor.
Councilman Brennan.
Did I cut you off?
No?
Okay. At this point, I think I'm only appealing to you. At this point, is probably the tiebreaker. My request would be to bring it back on the 12th and move the public comment from the end of the meeting to the beginning of the meeting specifically for this item. So anybody that wants to talk about it. Why are you afraid of the
They
public
can't,
comment?
no, they can't talk about anything that's on that
Yes, they
night's
can. It's not a
agenda.
public hearing.
That's why they can't
It's a public
address-
meeting. We've
can't
had that
address
distinction
anything.
before.
I've given both answers
I was
to
gonna
that.
say, yeah, I've heard both.
I don't have, so, you're right and you're right. Congratulations. But I don't take issue with saying this is, or you could have it be a public hearing. You're not required for it to be a public hearing. You can just say, just make it a public hearing and take comment. And it's not a true public hearing because it's not advertised, doesn't go through all the posting requirements and all that. But so right now you just did new business item, whatever. You could just simply open it up to the public. Does anybody want to have any comment on this?
Can we do that right now?
And you,
But nobody
you
knows
you
it's
could
coming.
certainly do
It's
that.
not here.
However, probably Brendan's point is we added it to the agenda now, and so nobody had the opportunity to see the posted agenda. And so that's what he'll say back to you if I save a little time.
100%.
So my big thing right here is, he's been doing it for 30 years. I don't want to hurt anyone's business, but also, if this council sees fit to do that, all the citizens can reach out to you via emails, call you, and say, hey, I want a public hearing, and this body can say, hey, I want this as a public hearing, and then revoke it. If that's what you guys so choose to do, or have the public hearing, let the citizens speak, and then revoke the ordinance down the road. So, we've heard this, we've got a motion, we've heard this ordinance read. Do you wish it to pass if there's no further comments? Councilwoman Garvey?
Aye.
Councilman Brennan?
I have a little battle in my mind because I don't have a problem with the ordinance. So the only thing I would vote nay for is to bring it back to citizen input, which is important to me. But voting nay means feels like I'm not in favor of the ordinance. So I don't know what the right answer is for me because I want the citizens' input, but I also don't have a problem with the ordinance.
I'll come back.
It's not going to change after they vote. I'm going to be in the same spot.
Same conundrum.
So I threw a bone out. I gave everybody an opportunity to care what the citizens think, and if they don't, then I'm fine moving forward with the ordinance. So go ahead. Yeah, come back to me.
Councilman Bundy.
The ordinance itself, I do not disagree with. In a perfect world, we would have gotten this ordinance tomorrow as opposed to 4 o'clock today, to be perfectly honest. Then we would have had until the next session to do it. In my opinion, process is important. But I also don't want to put the chief in a position where we're going to have possibly an ordinance that we're not going to ask him to enforce for 2 weeks. So that's my problem right there. And now, nobody has told us how they're going to vote, but we can perhaps guess on what's been going on. And so even though I wish we had received this tomorrow, and I wish we would have had until the next council meeting to take care of it, I'm not going to ask the police chief to have an ordinance that he's not going to look at. So I'm going to begrudgingly and ask in the future that we not do this, that we have time for public comment if there is going to be any. And I'm going to guess that there probably won't be any. That's my guess. It's just the process that I'm questioning. So I'm going to vote aye.
Councilman Green?
Aye.
Councilman Brennan?
I made my point. Aye.
All right. Let's run down to recognized person in the audience. Please limit comments to 3 minutes. Would anybody like to get up and speak?
Oh, yeah.
Come on, Decker.
It's my job.
Mayor, members of the council, my name is Dr. Sanders. If it was important enough to hold a public hearing when proposing at a rate increase above 40%, how is it that a proposed rate above 30% does not? How is it that the new item was not provided for public view as was the initial proposal? I'll retract that because I found later it was posted up. This increase exceeds the limits imposed and merits the same handling as the original offering. Technically, this item was tabled at the October 24 meeting. There was no action taken to amend the document at that meeting. Given the November 20 meeting was discussion only and there was no decision to present a new set of proposed fees. Given the golf course fees and the Golf Pro contract does not fall within the rationale for executive session, the executive session could not make a decision on the contents for a new fee structure. It is inappropriate for the City Council in its quasi-judicial role to deny citizens due process by passing a rate increase without the opportunity of a public hearing. The City Council is about to make a mistake that has killed more public programs than fraud. In classic planning a resource instead of resourcing a plan. The rush to get new fees in place before having a plan on how the funds will be used wears thin on the citizens who have been promised, along with the golf pro, a new contract. The repeated delays without tangible rationale to get this accomplished degrades public support. Not only did the City Council fail to renegotiate card fees as provided in the agreement a full year before its original scheduled termination, which had the potential to impact the shortage decried by the Council. Continued delay in getting a new contract in place no longer has the appearance of a civically minded governance body struggling to improve the situation, especially since each of you has said in this forum that you're willing to continue subsidizing the course in order to improve this valuable amenity. The contract proposal provided by Mr. Gomez, along with the proposed rate increases, still represents the most efficient and economical start to the process of doing this the right way. Stabilize the current situation along the lines proposed by your contracted professional in the field, as you do with so many other areas you oversee. Reestablish the Golf Advisory Board with the charter to develop and present a comprehensive plan for the golf course and all related operations. Then go about the business of resourcing the plan. Everyone, council members, golfers, and citizens will be able to see what the vision is and how it will be achieved. Raising cash first looks more like throwing money at the issue.
Anybody else? Final comments, council? All right. Christmas parade this weekend, 6:30. The city family's been out there putting up Christmas lights and getting ready for this weekend, so we'd love to see everybody out there. It's we want you to make that Hallmark memory out there, bring your families down there. We'd love to see everybody down there. Thank you, everybody, and have a great night.